Somewhere over the dark ocean, a plane carrying 239 people vanished into thin air. No wreckage, no signal, no explanation, just silence. One moment it was flying peacefully through the night sky. The next moment, it was gone. Completely gone. As if it never existed. This isn't a movie. This isn't a fiction. This actually happened. And to this day, nobody knows the full truth. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why this mystery still haunts investigators, pilots, and families all over the world. Now let's slow down for a second. Think about the last time you boarded a flight, or watched someone you love walk through airport security. You trust that they'll land safely. You trust that technology, radar, satellites, all of it, will keep them safe. That trust is something we don't even think about. It's just there, quietly, in the background of our lives. Now imagine that trust being shattered. Imagine waiting at an airport, watching the arrival screen, and the flight you're waiting for just disappears from the list. Not delayed, not cancelled, just gone. That's exactly what happened to hundreds of families on one ordinary night. It was March 8, 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 took off from Kuala Lumpur, heading to Beijing. A routine flight. People sleeping, people scrolling on their phones. People dreaming about what they'd do once they landed. Nothing about that night felt dangerous. Then, about 40 minutes into the flight, something strange happened. The plane's communication system, the one that lets air traffic control track it, suddenly switched off. No warning, no distress call, no mayday, just silence. Air traffic control tried reaching the pilots. Nothing. They tried again. Still nothing. For a moment, everyone assumed it was a technical glitch. Planes have glitches all the time, right? But then, military radar picked up something chilling. The plane hadn't crashed. It hadn't disappeared. It had turned around. It flew back across Malaysia off its planned path like a ghost slipping through the night sky, undetected by commercial radar. Why would a plane secretly turn around mid-flight? Who was flying it, and why wasn't anyone talking? This is where the mystery deepens. Search teams scrambled. Countries mobilized ships, planes, satellites. The world watched, glued to their screens, waiting for answers. But the ocean stayed silent. Investigators discovered something unsettling. Faint satellite signals, tiny automatic handshakes between the plane and a satellite, kept pinging for hours after the plane vanished from radar. That meant one thing. The plane didn't crash right away. It kept flying. For hours. Somewhere. Alone in the dark sky with no one on the ground knowing where. Try to imagine that. A plane full of people flying silently through the night, completely untraceable, while the entire world searched in the wrong direction. Using those satellite signals, experts calculated a rough path, an arc stretching thousands of kilometers across the Indian Ocean. But an arc isn't a location, it's a possibility. A haystack the size of an ocean. Search teams expanded the hunt to one of the most remote, most dangerous stretches of water on Earth. Freezing currents, violent storms, ocean floors deeper than mountains are tall. They searched for months, then years. Ships scanned the sea floor. Underwater drones mapped canyons no human eye had ever seen. Satellite images were studied pixel by pixel. And still nothing, no wreckage, no black box signal. No answers. Then, in 2015, more than a year later, something washed ashore on a tiny island called Reunion, near Madagascar. A single piece of a wing. Investigators confirmed it. It belonged to the missing plane. For the first time in over a year, there was physical proof. The plane hadn't vanished into some parallel universe. It had crashed somewhere in that vast ocean. But one piece of a wing doesn't tell you where the rest of the plane is. It doesn't tell you what happened in that cockpit. It doesn't bring anyone closure. More debris slowly appeared on coastlines across Africa over the following months. Each piece confirmed the plane went down. None of them revealed why. Now here's where things get even more intense. Investigators studied everything: pilot history, passenger backgrounds, maintenance records, weather conditions, every possible mechanical failure. Some experts believe it could have been a catastrophic system failure, something that disabled communication before anyone could react. Others believe the control turn suggests a deliberate action by someone inside the cockpit. But here's the truth you need to hear. Nobody knows for certain. Not officially. Not with real evidence. Despite the most expensive aviation search in human history, despite cutting-edge satellite technology, despite years of investigation, the core mystery remains unsolved. Think about that for a second. We live in a world where your phone can track your exact location within meters, where satellites can photograph your backyard from space. And yet, a massive commercial airplane disappeared, and we still don't fully know what happened. That's the moment this story hits different. It's not just about a missing plane. It's about how fragile control really is. How something so advanced, so trusted, so impossible to lose can still slip through humanity's grasp. For the families who lost someone that night, there was no dramatic ending, no final answer, just an empty space where closure should be. Imagine loving someone and never getting to say goodbye, never getting a final moment, never even getting the truth. That's the emotional weight behind this mystery. It's not just a headline, it's grief without an ending. And maybe that's why this story still grips people around the world, more than a decade later. Because deep down, we all fear the unknown. We fear losing control. We fear silence where answers should be. This isn't just a story about a lost flight. It's a reminder that even in a world full of technology, safety, and certainty, some mysteries refuse to be solved. Some truths stay hidden in the deep, dark corners of the ocean, waiting. And maybe someday, the ocean will finally give up its secret. Until then, all we have is the mystery, the questions, and the memory of everyone who was on that flight. If this story pulled you in the way it pulled me in, make sure you subscribe, because there are more real-life mysteries, just like this one, waiting to be explored. Stay curious. Stay questioning, and I'll see you in the next story.